Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So I'm continuing to read from the next paragraph. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu describes Srimad Bhagavatam as the spotless Puran because it contains transcendental narrations of the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Amal Puran. The history of Srimad Bhagavatam is also very glorious. Sri Vyasadeva, drawing on his mature experience of transcendental knowledge, compiled it under the instruction of Sri Naradji, his spiritual master. Sri Vyasadeva had compiled all the Vedic literatures, the four Vedas, the Vedanta Sutra, the Vedanta Sutra or Brahma Sutra, the Purans and the Mahabharata. Everything was compiled already by Srila Vyasadeva, but he was not satisfied. His dissatisfaction was observed by his spiritual master, Sri Narad Muni, and thus Sri Narad Muni advised him to write about the transcendental activities of the Lord Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna's transcendental activities are specifically described in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. The canto considered to contain the substance of the whole work. One should not approach the 10th canto immediately, but should approach it gradually by developing the knowledge of the subject matters presented in the beginning. So, canto wise, we should read canto wise. Generally, a person with a philosophical mind is inquisitive to learn of the origin of the creation. He sees the night sky and naturally asks, what are the stars? How are they situated? Who lives there? And so on. All these inquiries are quite natural for a human being because his consciousness is more developed than the animals. In answer to such queries, the author of Srimad Bhagavatam says that the Lord is the origin of the creation. He is not only the creator, but the maintainer and the annihilator as well. The manifested cosmic nature is created at a certain period by the will of the Lord. It is maintained for some time, and finally it is annihilated by the will of the Supreme Lord. Thus, He is the supreme will behind all activities, the supreme desire. And the Lord desires, it must happen. Of course, there are atheists of various categories who do not believe in the Creator, but that is due only to the poor fund of knowledge. That is only due to their poor fund of knowledge. This is a very, very gentle way of saying that because of their ignorance or no knowledge, lack of knowledge. The modern scientist creates Sputniks, and by some arrangement or other, they are thrown into the outer space to fly for some time under the control of a scientist sitting far away. All the universes and the innumerable planets within them are similar to such Sputniks, and they are all controlled by the personality of Godhead. In the Vedic literature, it is said that the absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, is the chief among all the living personalities. All the living beings, from the very first created being, who is Brahma, down to the smallest ant, they are all individual living entities. And above Brahma, there are many other living beings with individual capacities. The personality of Godhead Himself is also a living being, as much as individual as other living beings. So what is being said here is that from the topmost living being, that is Brahma, created being, from Brahma down to the ant, everyone are individual living entities, and even above Brahma there are other living beings also. They have their own individual capacities. The and the supreme personality of Godhead, Krishna, he is also a living being. And as much as individual as other living beings, just like we are individual living entities. Similarly, the Supreme Lord himself is also an individual living entity. But the Supreme Lord is the supreme living being. He has the greatest mind and he has the supermost inconceivable energies in great variety. So basically, he is the supreme living entity, and everything that he has is supreme, and it is beyond our understanding. It is unlimited, and he can do anything and he can do everything. So we cannot even imagine uh, if we are sitting in one place. Okay, there are many mystics who can do that they can expand, make themselves expand up to a certain number. I think about um 12 or something. Some mystics, if they want, they can expand themselves up to a certain limited number. But the supreme living being Krishna, he is unlimited. He can expand himself into unlimited infinite living beings. And still, even after expanding to infinite living beings, it is not that his original, uh, the unlimited potency that he has is lost. Oh, he remains as it is. Even after expanding into unlimited infinite living beings, again he can expand further into unlimited infinite living beings, and then again he can expand into unlimited infinite living beings. So basically, the Lord is unlimited. There is no end where, okay, at this point, his the Supreme Lord's all his abilities, this is the end or the limit to it. There is no limit. He's unlimited. If a man's mind can produce a Sputnik, we can very easily imagine that a mind higher than man's can produce wonderful things far superior to man made Sputniks. A reasonable person will accept this argument, but stubborn, obstinate people will not. Srila Vyasdev at once accepts the Supreme Mind as the Parameshwara, the Supreme Controller. Param Ishvara, Parameshwara. Ishwar means controller and Param means the supreme controller. So Srila Vyasdev, he accepts the supreme mind. We all have small individual minds, and there is a supreme mind. That supreme mind is Parameshwar. He is the supreme controller. And Srila Vyasdev offers his respectful obeisances to him, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita and all the other scriptures that are written by Srila Vyasdev, that Parameshwar is Sri Krishna himself. This is specifically stated in Srimad Bhagavatam. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord himself says that there is no Paratattva, Samam Bonam, other than himself. Paratattva. He says, I am that Paratattva. There is nothing beyond me. Therefore, the author at once worships the Paratattva, Sri Krishna, whose transcendental activities are described in the 10th canto. We see that even when the Supreme Lord appeared as a small child, baby child, and Mother Yashoda was feeding him milk, and then there were other activities because his the celebration for his appearance that celebration was going on. So Mother Yashoda was feeding him, and then there were other work that was to be done, and there were other gopis who were calling Yashoda Maya to come to check something. So Yashoda Maya just put Krishna where he was on Mother Yashoda's lap, and then she just keeps him next to that place. And there was a cart filled with many heavy metals, like brass and copper and silver, and there were many items kept in that. So it was a very heavy cart, and this cart was filled with heavier articles, heavier metals and articles and stuff. And Mother Yashoda just put baby Krishna below that cart, and then she has to go to do some work. Now Krishna is feeling hungry, so Krishna starts crying. But because there are so many celebratory sounds going on, so Mother Yashoda cannot hear Krishna crying. And then Krishna becomes very angry. Usually, babies, when they are hungry, they also become very angry. So, from hunger comes anger. So, and we can see it from Krishna's example because he is the supreme being. Of course, whatever he has, everything comes down. But then everything becomes perverted here, over here. So, just because the Supreme Lord Krishna has unlimited desires, therefore, as his my infinitesimal living beings, we also, as part and parcel of Krishna, we also have unlimited desires. But the thing is that when we want to enjoy individually, that's where the problem arises. So anyhow, so Mother Yashoda cannot hear Krishna crying, and then he becomes very angry and starts to, throw his feet here and there because Mother is not coming and not feeding me. And while Krishna is doing that with his little tiny feet, and this feet are like so soft and supple, like a cotton ball, okay, and his tiny feet are going here and there, and suddenly it hits the wheel of the cart, and then this, when it hits the wheel of the cart, see, Zoom also starts celebrating. When it hits the wheel of the cart suddenly like falls off, and all the articles that are there on that cart, all the heavy metals and all the vessels and utensils and other items, everything falls down. And such a loud thud, like a thundering noise comes, that everybody starts running to see what happened. And then Mother Yashoda immediately picks up Krishna and thinks that, oh, Narayan has saved my son. The Lord, Supreme Lord, is so merciful, has saved my son. So they are unable to see that this little child is just, the Lord has accepted this form as a child to give pleasure to his pure devotees who are in the Vatsalya Ras, Mother Yashoda and Nanda Baba. There is no one who is in deeper love in this mellow of Vatsalya Bhav other than Mother Yashoda and Nanda Baba. Therefore, Krishna accepts this body, this form, this baby form, to come to them. And there, even in that small body, the Supreme Lord is always Supreme Lord, and therefore his strength is always unlimited. And just by a little kick of this cotton like feet, like a cotton ball, this entire huge cart, heavy cart filled with heavier items, everything falls down. But is this possible for any ordinary child? It is not possible. It is not possible, right? So, all these activities are described in this 10th canto. And Srila Prabhupada very kindly has actually, when he was writing Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada realizes that some people may never get the opportunity to actually study Srimad Bhagavatam canto wise. So that means they will never be able to read and get this relish, this ras, this nectar that is there in the 10th canto. And therefore, Srila Prabhupada very mercifully gave us this book, Shri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which is the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, anybody who, Srila Prabhupada says that anybody who reads this Krishna book will definitely get the highest success in this lifetime. Anybody who has who reads this book. And then Srila Prabhupada also says that, okay, actually first Prabhupada says that, okay, anybody who reads one chapter, then Srila Prabhupada says, no, not even one chapter. If somebody reads one paragraph, then after some time Srila Prabhupada says, not even one paragraph. If somebody reads one line, and then Srila Prabhupada says, actually, not even one line. If somebody reads just one word from this book, it is that powerful. It is that potent to deliver somebody. That powerful. So, this Krishna book is full of nectar. And then Srila Prabhupada also advises, or rather say, Prabhupada says that one can read this book before going to bed in the night time. Whole day, the devotees, they serve the Lord, they do various devotional services. In the night time, if they read the Krishna book and they go to sleep, then they can associate with Krishna even in the sleep also. So this is what Srila Prabhupada says. unscrupulous persons go at once to the 10th canto, especially to the 5 chapters in which Srila Vyasadeva has kindly described the Lord's Ras dance. However, this portion of Srimad Bhagavatam is the most confidential part of that great literature. It is the most confidential part, and unscrupulous persons, what they do, they immediately jump, forget about 1 to 9th canto, forget about the first 5 chapters also, they just simply go to the 10th canto, jump to the 5 chapters in between where the Lord's Ras dance is described, and they simply like to um, concoct and interpret according to their own mundane materialistic understandings, and then they do all nonsensical bogus activities of their own self by reading this. So Srila Prabhupada warns us as devotees, one should not do this, and one should also strictly avoid hearing from such unscrupulous persons. However, this portion of Srimad Bhagavatam is the most confidential part of that great literature unless one is thoroughly accomplished in the transcendental knowledge of the Lord. One is sure to misunderstand the Lord's worshipable transcendental pastimes in the Ras dance and his loving dealings with the gopis. This subject matter is highly spiritual and technical, and only the liberated personalities who have gradually attained the stage of Paramhamsa can transcendentally relish the worshipable Ras dance. So we'll stop here, pause here for today, and Krishna willing, we'll again continue reading tomorrow. Thank you very much for your kind association. वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्री श्रीमद शूलाचार्य पताका स्वामी गुरु महाराज की जय। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। हरि
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 बोल
हरि
कृष्ण
बोल।
बोलो।